Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back on another video from Chuck, and today, that was a good save, we are checking out how strong is Byakuya. I love doing a bit of some Bob's Bleach. I can't wait for 1000 Year Blood War arc. Let's get the hype going. Let's see how strong Byakuya actually is. If we're talking like end in the 1000 Year Blood War arc, pretty damn strong.
But multitudes of amazing characters that we're all dying to see once again in the 1000 Year Blood War arc.
I can't wait.
One of them is none other than the royal leader of the Sixth Company, Byakuya Kuchiki. The man who stood in Ichigo's way during the Soul
He was one heck of an obstacle, wasn't he?
He became one of his most trusted comrades in the battle against the Espada and Sternritters alike. What is his story, his abilities, his best feats, and most importantly, how does he stack up in comparison to the other captains within the Gotei 13? Well, let's go ahead and find out as I go over this widely popular character.
He's so sick.
Thanks to his royal blood, Bianchia was a gifted youth and learned a lot from Yoruichi, one of Ichigo's masters that taught him Bankai.
So cool. She's so sick.
He's an excellent all-rounder as he is widely skilled in Zanjutsu, the sword combat style of Soul Reapers. Kido, the defensive and offensive spells like Hado 4, Byakurai, which is how to beam of light, resembles Frieza's death beam in a way. Bakudo 61, Rikujokoro, also known as the 6-rod light restraint, which he used to subdue Renji's
mate, he's got so much up his sleeve, man. It's like, ooh.
From hurting herself. He can also use Bakudo 81.
I forgot about that as well, yeah.
A shield spell which he used against an Espada named Zomari. He can use dozens of other spells and could likely use the Forbidden Kidos.
He's got a lot up his sleeve.
I mean, it's just amazing. It literally like bends time and space itself.
That's sick.
Generally, Bianchia has a wide array of tools at his disposal, making him hard to take care of in battle.
Yep.
He's also widely renowned as being an expert on Shunpo, which is a Soul Reaper's evasion technique.
The speed on him is unreal, man. When he first meets Ichigo and he just blitzes past him like that, it's like,
Soul Reaper has his own blade that is basically part of their soul.
The petals, man.
For Byakuya, his Zanpakuto is called Senbon Zakuda, which is so elegant that when released, the blade separates into millions of sharp petals that can attack omnidirectionally. And Byakuya can double the speed of these blades by simply moving around his hands. And it also has a safe zone around the user to prevent injury.
It works offensively and defensively, doesn't it? So sick.
The thing that makes the Senbon Zakuda so awesome is that it isn't just restricted to one form because it has multiple of them. In the battle with Ichigo, Byakuya unleashed his Senkei Senbon Zakuda
What a fight.
which he claims is the blade's true form, where it abandons all defense and focuses
solely on
attack,
the offensive, yeah.
encompassing the enemy in a field of thousands of souls.
Crazy.
According to Byakuya, the Senkei ability explosively increases the blade's lethality, implying that it further amplifies or increases its power. Which is very interesting because according to Yoruichi, a Bankai has a power of 5 to 10 times stronger than a Shikai. So I wonder if this Senkei Senbon Zakuda further multiplies.
Like, is it a higher multiplier? Right, yeah.
It is included with the Bankai multiplier, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
During this time, Byakuya couldn't use all of Senkei's blades like to attack a target, but after he got his ass kicked and essentially trained a lot, he was able to use them all in an offensive manner.
Which is absolutely insane.
So if you have read Bleach, you know that one of the main conflicts, the Soul Society arc, happened because Rukia was going to be executed for saving Ichigo's life, which was against the law for some reason, right?
No, it was because she gave Ichigo the Soul Reaper powers.
It was going to be like, yeah, my sister's going to die, but it's the law. I have to...
Yeah, I thought like she was being executed because she broke the law of passing on the Soul Reaper abilities to someone in the living world. Am I wrong?
Anyways, this
it's been a while.
Was crazy, and you know they were going toe-to-toe for a while, but eventually Ichigo was getting the upper hand because he did have superior speed with his Bankai, and Byakuya was finding it really hard to land a decisive blow on him. And even when he launched like his millions of petal blades at Ichigo,
which you could just fire everywhere,
all of them away like it was nothing. And Byakuya was in trouble for sure. Unfortunately for Ichigo, since he was leaking out so much spiritual pressure and his body wasn't used to that yet, it basically taxed his body and it made him really tired to the point that he lost a lot of speed, and Byakuya was able to basically win that encounter.
But then the hollow.
And then Ichigo was like, oh wait, plot power up. And you know, it is obviously the hollow mask that was, you know, trying to come out of him. And with this, like,
the shock on his face is like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Byakuya basically lost the battle as a whole. He was still able to take multiple Getsuga Tenshos that were amplified by a Bankai Hollow Mask Ichigo. So this speaks like volumes about Byakuya's durability.
Yeah, he can take
but
a lot of
then
hits.
Ichigo regained control, and he's like, okay, like, that was not me, that was literally just a fluke, like, let's do this, like, in style. So they charged up their final attacks, and this is where Byakuya uses another form of the Senbon Zakura, which is called Shuke Hakuteiken, which looks
so
damn elegant.
Cool.
Which was unable to pierce Ichigo's final attack, but he still gave him a really tough fight. Once again, it's unclear if this ultimate form of Senbon Zakura further multiplies Byakuya's cutting power, or if it's included with the Bankai multiplier, but if so, this means that Byakuya's, like, attacks are certainly more than 10 times stronger if we're going just off the regular multiplier.
Yeah.
And it would make sense going by later feats. Regardless, he was still relative to Ichigo and would skill to his feat of countering the Sokyoku Blade, which according to Aizen and the guidebooks, has the power to destroy the Serite.
Yeah, the whole place. It's just so ridiculous.
Following his defeat, Byakuya reveals to Ichigo that he basically didn't try to stop Rukia's execution because it was against the law, and he claimed that if the royal families didn't uphold the rules,
Who will
then
do it?
who would?
Yeah.
And as much as it pained him, he was ready to, like, basically let his sister go, and one may think that Byakuya was being unreasonable, but the whole reason that he vowed to not break the rules again was because he broke the rules at first, because he married someone from the Rukongai,
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
basically, like, not where the nobles
Yeah.
live, right? So,
I forgot about this,
because
yeah.
he married someone that was outside of a noble class, this was seen as taboo, and Byakuya was like, yeah, like, I'm not gonna break the rules again.
Oops.
Over time, though, he grew closer to Rukia, treated her with love and respect, you know, he wasn't, like, a anymore. He was still, like, pretty empathetic, though, which is what I love about him as well. But he also accepted Ichigo as a comrade, and, you know, that's always awesome. Following his defeat at Ichigo's hands, Byakuya realized that he had to get his shit into gear and started training hardcore.
Is that what he is? God, I need to get my stuff together, man.
Alongside Kenpachi, Unohana, and Mayuri to take care of the Espada. Anyways, Byakuya pulled up to Zamari, who was about to kill off Rukia.
Wasn't he meant to be like the fastest Espada as well? Well, that's how they stated it to be, wasn't it?
Was really nasty because he was not only like the fastest base Espada,
Right.
but he was
Cool.
also the fastest Sonido user, which is kind of like the equivalent of Shumpo. And he also had an ability which allowed him to control people by placing a stamp on them using his eyes. He can further amplify this amount by using his Resurrección, which is basically like an Espada's
eyes everywhere.
equivalent to a Bankai.
Bankai, yeah.
And without a second's hesitation, Byakuya, as soon as he was hit by this attack, he was like, hell nah. That shit. I'm gonna slice my own tendons off so I don't, like, hurt myself, right? And he did that. But
Crazy.
honestly, who was really worried in this battle?
What a badass.
Byakuya just, releases Senbon Zakura Kagayoshi and sliced him apart like it was nothing. And he really only killed him because he dared to hurt Rukia. But anyways, it was a really good fight because it showcased that Byakuya really does care about his sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zamari was only the 7th Espada, and as such, not the strongest one by far.
But yeah, his
he was still the
speed.
fastest
Yeah,
one
the
through
speed's
the
like, whoa.
guidebooks, at least it would apply to base at least. I don't think that Zamari would be faster than second stage Ukiura.
No, of course.
But, I mean, you can interpret it that way, but let's just say that he's at least faster than the other base Espada, which is still really impressive given that Stark was nasty enough to keep up with Shunsui, who's also really nasty at Shumpo. So, yeah, this would just further amplify that Byakuya is
dead fast.
really fast character.
Dead fast.
He's able to keep up with
Dead
these
fast.
people like it's no problem. And to further cement that Byakuya, like, really trained his ass off, he was able to defeat Yami alongside Kenpachi. And this is really crazy, and for some people, like, this might not be really believable, but Yami is actually the strongest Espada, at least in terms of raw power, right, if you want to put it that way.
When he turns
because,
to zero,
he
yeah.
is the number 0,
Yeah.
and he literally stated, like, he is stronger than all of these. Yeah, he doesn't really know how to sense spiritual energy, but, I mean, he stated it, and it is pretty accurate because the guidebooks say it as well. And, I mean, you could argue that Stark or Ukiura could beat Yami because they're faster or, like, they're more intelligent. That's something else for another day. What I'm trying to get at here is that Byakuya was taking this battle really lightly against Yami, right? Like, he didn't even seem really pressed. I mean, he used his Bankai, but he wasn't, like, worried in the battle, right?
Yeah.
Byakuya went from getting his ass beat by Ichigo to fighting an Espada who is way more powerful than the Grimmjow, who beat the hell out of a Bankai Hollow Mask Ichigo.
Right, yeah, here we go. Let's power scale this.
So, yeah, he trained his ass off for sure. Oh yeah, and something really interesting is that in the battle, like, Kenpachi was basically telling him, hey, like, Byakuya, you finish him off, right? You do it, you know? And Byakuya was like, why are you, like, a barbarian, like, you telling me what to do, right? And Kenpachi's like, what? Like, what you say, you know? Like, you wanna, like, throw down hands? You wanna like...
Let's go! Let's go!
Byakuya was like, yeah, bro, let's do it. Let's do it right now. And they started clashing, and Kenpachi even says, I've always wanted to have a fight with you. And this kind of, like, implies that they have, like, a rivalry.
Bit of a rivalry. It doesn't really get
in a way.
touched upon further, though,
does it? At all, because in the 1,000-year Blood War arc in the manga, when Unohana is talking to Kenpachi about rivals, she actually has Byakuya, Ichigo, and Renji in mind. I'm not gonna say that Byakuya was stronger than Kenpachi during this time, but I would say that they were at least very comparable to each other.
Yeah.
And that is really huge. Okay, now we get to the Fullbringer arc, which is basically where Ichigo had to deal with a like, substitute Soul Reaper.
I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it was such a weird like arc to end the anime on, wasn't it?
It's
like,
cool character who was Kugo Ginjo's right-hand man, known as Shukuro Tsukishima, who had a really overpowered ability that allowed him to basically insert himself into someone's past and could basically manipulate them going
crazy.
And while the stage was set and before the battle began, Byakuya was like, it was a really good thing that I'm your opponent because, you know, Ichigo would give you compassion and Kenpachi would just rush in like a moron and...
yeah, me, I'm different.
He says, like, it's really good that I'm your opponent. And Byakuya is like, I'm just gonna keep my distance. I'm not letting you touch me, bro. Keep that away from me, please, you know? So they were, like straight up on quarantine mode, like, you know, even before it was, like, necessary. But yeah, he didn't want to touch him. But unfortunately, Tsukishima did have hands, and he eventually did grab a hold of him and inserted himself into his blade, and claimed that basically all of Byakuya's abilities and techniques would not work on him because he had seen all of them before. But this is where it gets nasty, because Byakuya doesn't care if you know what his abilities are.
Yeah.
But generally, it was a really good fight. Tsukishima was pressing Byakuya.
It's one of those, isn't it? It's like, so what if you know what I'm about to do? Like, if you're not fast enough or strong enough to deal with it, it's still gonna mess you up.
You know, he has like this radius around him that protects him from his own blades, but he can basically modify it to be smaller and smaller, which allowed him to hit and pierce Tsukishima's chest,
Boom.
and basically win right then and there. But anyways, after that, Ichigo beat Kugo Ginjo, and everything was fine and dandy up until the Third Ridders came.
And then you walk.
And that was not really...
Oh, the animation looks so sick.
So during the initial invasion, a bunch of crazy went down, a bunch of people died, and the one who called dibs on Byakuya's Bankai was none other than Asnod, the creepy-ass Stern Ritter that strikes instinctual fear into his
Such
victims.
A crazy
and
ability.
Unfortunately for Byakuya, he was cut down by his own Bankai. Pretty ironic, right? But this moment was very crucial because everyone thought that he died, and I think he was originally...
I think he was meant to be killed off, wasn't he? I feel like it would have been better if he had as well. Love the guy, but like... yeah.
Kubo into being like, okay, I'll bring him back, and I'll have him barely survive. So, you know, Byakuya has Focus Band on. Like, that's awesome. He barely survived that with 1 HP. I don't know how he did it, but he did, even though all of his organs got shredded.
Should have left it alone.
This was actually a blessing in disguise, because not only did Byakuya heal up and become stronger than ever, but he trained and refined his Senbon Zakura and became much better with it.
Which is crazy.
Although he didn't fight
Which is crazy.
directly, he assisted Rukia by shredding his Volstandic space to pieces, and even went as far as...
Can't wait to see these fights animated, man. It's gonna be sick.
Him to get better with his Shikai, and, you know, basically just become far better than ever before. And it's pretty well evident because Bianchia also basically off-paneled 3 Stern Ritter.
Just by himself.
One of them being Robert Akutron, who was able to wound a Shikai Shunsui, the same one who literally fought Amped Lily Baro, who was already strong enough to take care of Squad Zero. He also defeated Nanana Najakup, who was able to temporarily paralyze Aizen for like 5 minutes, which, you know, knowing Aizen is really hard to do.
Yeah.
And he also defeated Candace Catnip, who is basically one of the strongest Quincy girls out there. And other characters make note of this. They're like, wow, like his combat ability, like is crazy.
He's so cool. Whoa, you see this guy?
This is really like awesome for Byakuya because, for reference, only Kenpachi in the initial invasion was able to defeat 3 Stern Ritters. The other ones couldn't even defeat 1 or barely stalemated. Eventually, Byakuya faced off against Gerard Valkyrie with his homies, and they cut him down pretty easily. And by this point, Gerard was strong enough to take care of Squad Zero. Unfortunately, thanks to the miracle ability, Gerard basically came back stronger than ever before.
It was ridiculous, man. He is ridiculous.
So
if you Wak didn't like take everyone's powers, like
thanks to Byakuya's final
God knows
attack.
what would have happened.
So Byakuya pretty much made a monster because this Gerard was able to clash against Shikai Kenpachi and later survived and basically regenerated from Bankai Kenpachi's attack. So Gerard Valkyrie was definitely no pushover.
No, he was not.
So the
He was so ridiculously OP.
Basically slice his body apart to pieces until there was basically nothing left. And in combination with Toshiro's ice, Byakuya unleashed his Senkei Senbon Sakura Ikasen Jinka to slice Gerard Valkyrie into chunks. And it seemed to work, right? Like, they killed him, but no, Gerard Valkyrie came back and became even stronger than ever before. So, you know, they couldn't beat him, but they still put up a really good fight.
Did.
And I mean, if even Bankai Kenpachi, like, had to help you and you still didn't win, like, you tried your best.
Yeah, you
like,
definitely did something.
Gerard Valkyrie is just way too nasty, but, you know, that fool is basically Doomsday. What can you do? In conclusion, I would say that Byakuya, you know, due to him being shown as being comparable to, you know, Kenpachi and also, like, Toshiro's refined Bankai.
Oh, the animation on that.
Like,
it looks so good.
Pseudo-war potential, you know, that increased a lot in power. They could take care of, like, the really elite, like, Stern Ridders, but they weren't quite there at the God tiers yet, but I'd say that he is at least above Sajin Komamuda and Soifan, Kensei, you know, just to name a few. To be honest, though, I still see Kenpachi and Shunsui as being above him because they do have better feats, and Kenpachi is just a monster. Like, he's on
absolute
a whole
beast.
other level.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they are still within a comparable tier. I do think that, speaking of Kenpachi, me and Clyde did do a video on Kenpachi versus Byakuya, so if you want to see that, you know,
it's a good video.
Check it out. We go pretty in-depth on it. But anyways, I think that Byakuya, I think he's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah,
I love the symbolism that he is supposed to represent, like, Soul Society's, like, laws, and how Ichigo really disliked that. He wanted to change that, and Byakuya changed from that, you know, from that whole encounter, and decided to grow more close to, like, his sister, and was more of a chill character. So I think he was very fleshed out, you know, and I like his character development. Definitely a cool character. And with that, you know, I just wanted to thank you guys for watching the video. Please check out Sakurako and Tokyo Treat if you want some really nice goodies. And yeah, I will catch you thoughties next time. Please let me know what character you would like me to cover more in depth, and I will get onto that as soon as possible. Thanks, and have a good one.
Sick. Pretty damn powerful. That Byakuya guy. He's cool. Can't wait for Bleach Man. So yeah, there we have it. That is how strong Byakuya is. Pretty damn OP. Like, yeah, Kenpachi's definitely up there, and if he's comparable to Kenpachi, then that's a big deal. So anyway, thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video I upload, links in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month is all that helps support the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you guys very much for that. And thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe, leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. I'll see you guys next time.